So there is a lot that the interior minister
needs to do.
Mm.
All right, let's move straight to our next topic. As Nigeria continues to grapple with the aftermath of devastating flood in Maiduguri, Borno State, the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsev, has issued the alert on a large volume of water flowing through rivers Niger and Benue down to the Niger Delta region, stressing the need for heightened vigilance and proactive measures, particularly in southern Nigeria, to mitigate the effects of potential flooding. According to him, the 2024 Annual Flood Outlook, publication by the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, identified high, moderate and low flood risk areas across the country. Borno, Bauchi, Jigawa, Taraba, Yobe, Benue, Gombe and other states are among the 31 states listed as high-risk areas. Meanwhile, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, said flood disasters killed 259 persons in 22 states across the country. Now, BK, we have been warned. A large volume of water flowing up from north, coming down to southern Nigeria. And when I say southern Nigeria, states in the south. Are we prepared for this?
No, we are not prepared. Even they look at what happened in Borno. We have relied heavily on the military. What is NEMA doing? What have they done? Are they equipped to deal with that kind of situation? When these warnings come, they are supposed to prepare us sufficiently in terms of personnel that will deploy, in terms of equipment. We need people who are properly trained to respond to this kind of emergencies. And when these emergencies happen, I want to see states helping one another. Lagos, for example, is very well equipped to handle some emergencies, because from time to time, these things happen in Lagos. Lagos should feel free to help Oyo State, to even help some of the distant states with the equipment at their disposal, with the know-how that they have, in these areas. 172 local governments out of 774, we've been told, will be impacted. These warnings should not just happen. We must come up with the right strategy to deal with the problem. Some of what we are doing now are just like medicine after death. We've had a situation in which 259 persons have died nationwide. I look at Jigawa. During the last flooding that I think 2 years ago, Jigawa was one of the worst hits. People are talking about Bayelsa and all that, but in terms of people that died, we lost about 1 million people, according to about 1 million people.
Our focus was on...
That's a lot. That's a lot of people. Death. Communities overrun. Yes, that one affected so many states. Nearly all the states of the south were affected. But what are we doing? They've already projected that 1,048,312 people will be affected, and that 625,239 of them will be displaced. These are massive numbers. I always dread the release of water from Cameroon's Lagdo Dam. People will lose their farmlands, thereby worsening food insecurity. People will die. We are just paying for the irregular rainfall that we are experiencing. Shows that we are paying a heavy price for treating our habitats Shabile. This is our only habitat. The earth is our only habitat. We have no other place where we can live. We can't go and live in heaven now. But we have, yes, this is our planet, this is our habitat. We have not been fair to our habitat, and we are seeing the effects. I shudder to think that this thing will happen, because if we've been warned that there will be flooding of rivers Niger and River Benue, look at how many states that will be affected, from the south to the north. Some states of the northeast, River Benue passes through them. Some states of the north, River Niger passes through them. Look at Kebbi, for example. River Niger coming from Benin Republic, comes into Kebbi State. Look at the destruction that happened 2 years ago in Kebbi. Many people lost their rice farms. I'm not sure they've recovered up to now. Olam Farms, Nigeria's biggest rice producer, they lost their farm in Nasarawa State, which was their biggest.
The biggest.
They lost it to the flooding. So why is it that we have not been able to come up with mitigating factors that will ensure that, yes, even when this thing happens, we limit the extent of destruction? Farmers are forced to, once they sense this flooding will happen, they quickly harvest their crops even before
the harvest.
Yes, before the due time, they quickly harvest so that they don't lose everything. The extent of this pain on Nigerians is easier imagined. I've seen flood kill people in Katsina State and push their remains all the way to Niger Republic. It can be that bad.
I don't want to.
So, 29 states, have you? I think they said 29, it will affect 22 states. That's a lot out of 36.
That's a whole lot.
That's a lot. So every state now, especially those states that have rivers Niger and rivers Benue passing through them, they need to sit up. Their governments need to see
strategy.
Yes, and there's a need for the federal and state governments to come together. This thing does not simply require throwing money at it, because I've heard the VP say that states that they want to release money to states to deal with the problem. You must have the right strategy. Otherwise, you keep throwing money at a problem, and that problem will not go.
It requires critical thinking.
Yes, we come up with very good ideas about how you can deal with a problem. Let us see that, yes, these are the measures that you come up with. Let's see those measures working. Not simply hearing stories that money has been released, and the next year it happens again. You know?
Okay, the Minister of Environment and Sanitation has come out to clarify this issue, that it's not about the allowed, it's about climate change. Okay, but people have died.
Yeah.
Now, we've been warned. Where are we in terms of preparation? I asked BK, I said we are not prepared. But your opinion, where do you think we are, the southern states, in terms of preparation?
The way we address the crisis of climate change here, we present it from government's perspective as if it's a hopeless situation. Or climate change, as if it's a spirit that the government and the people are helpless. But in other countries, people are responding, taking decisive decisions, creating new laws, amending existing laws to ensure that, they mitigate against the problem of climate change. The flooding that we are talking about in 2022, I think we had flooding of very serious magnitude. It happened in Bayelsa, Kogi, and I remember that in Bayelsa State, we had about 6,000 people that were moved into IDP camps near the Osborne Lake, near where they call it Bogene. And I remember that flooding submerged the East-West Road and also the Pakatani Asics. And everybody was talking, oh, we need to do this. That was around September, November, when there was the release of the, from a Lagdo Dam in northern Cameroon. Mm. This dam has been there since, I think, 1977. It was built between 1977 and 1984, thereabout. And it has always been a major problem, ritual problem to Nigerians. So the problem you ask yourself is that, what is our national plan on management of water resources? What is our, what is the new plan that we really have to ensure that coastal states, are saved from this imminent flooding? And other countries have good plan. What is the level of regional cooperation among the states in the Niger Delta? What is NDDC doing to say, okay, we want to plan ahead to ensure that this does not happen? Even the house of the former president, President Jonathan, was part of that, is as private house was submerged. But you see, we're in a country that we act momentarily when there's a major crisis. When that crisis goes again, we go to sleep. So the Southwest states, what are they doing? Southeast, Southwest, the NDDC, and even corporate organizations. Our banks, our communication companies, they declare huge profit every year in trillions. What is the human component? We are talking about housing in Kaduna. Private companies abroad are the ones coming to implement it. What are they doing here? I remember in those days, private companies like Jeba Paper Mill had housing estate. They used to call it Colony in Jeba. Then there was Fujiro. It has this very beautiful estate, also located very close to Mokwa. Okay. So what are our corporate organizations doing? In Maiduguri now there's flooding. In Bayelsa, what are they doing? Just primitive accumulation. So it's a combination of government, private institutions, and also our state government. We need to shake the narrative. We're
going on a break now, but if I get you, what you're talking about is improving our flood management infrastructure. We need to...
And climate action.
And climate action. Someone said maybe we build more dams, but because there was a time you told me that we already have plenty dams.
Yes, we are not. How many of those dams are we desilting?
Are working.
I mean, all right, but if we don't desilt them, their capacity to take in water will be reduced.
But anyway, BK, we need to go on this quick break, okay? We need to pay some bills. We'll be right back. Journalists Hangout. We'll continue.